Hello and welcome to our English news edition coming to you from Canal, Algérie. To the headlines. The President of the Republic, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense Abdelmajid Tebboune chairs a meeting of the Council of Ministers devoted to the presentation and debate of the 2023 Finance Bill. Via his official Twitter account, the President of the Republic congratulates the Algerian diplomats on the occasion of their National Day celebrated on October 8th of each year. The achievements made so far by our country's diplomacy are also celebrated on the 8th of October of each year, an occasion to highlight Algeria's role, notably following its huge comeback on the international scene. In its latest edition, El Jaish magazine evokes the beginning of the new academic year. It also recalls the different reforms initiated by the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense for the building of the new Algeria. Following the instructions of the President of the Republic, an official delegation headed by the Minister of Religious Affairs takes part in the official celebrations of El Mawlid al-Nabawi in Senegal at the invitation of the Caliph Tijani Al-Mahi Ibrahim Niyas. The Lebanese media is satisfied with all the facilitations provided by Algeria for the best coverage of the next Arab summit, and high expectations are echoed in the Jordanian streets concerning the importance of this key event due to be held in Algiers. Good evening, those were today's top stories. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense Abdelmajid Tebboune is chairing today an extraordinary meeting of the Council of Ministers dedicated to the presentation and debate of the 2023 Finance Bill. On the occasion of the National Day of Diplomacy, the President of the Republic recalled via his Twitter account that on October 8, 1962, the national emblem was hoisted for the first time in the United Nations premises among the independent countries. I remind on this occasion all our diplomats to preserve Algeria's diplomatic achievements as well as the legacy of our valiant martyrs. I congratulate you on the occasion of your National Day, concluded the President of the Republic. In a related topic, the National Day of Diplomacy is also an opportunity to hail the achievements made so far by our country's diplomatic corps, notably with its huge comeback on the international scene, and supporting the right of the oppressed peoples for self-determination is also one of Algeria's unchangeable principles. Story by Melissa Kubash.
Following the outbreak of our National Liberation War, the Algerian diplomacy broke out as well and now celebrates its National Day while maintaining its pivotal role for a stable and safe world. Diplomacy has always been important to Algeria. It allowed its voice to be heard and reach the international level. It was actually in Bandung, Indonesia, April 1955, that the fight of the Algerian people for its independence was known for the first time, a crucial step that allowed the organization of a self-determination referendum in 1962, consecrated for Algeria's independence. The Algerian diplomacy witnessed a large success after independence. Algeria, loyal to its principles, was an immense support for independence movements across the world and worked for resolving international crises and defended the oppressed people for their right to self-determination. The rich history of Algeria's diplomacy in terms of peaceful resolving conflicts leads us to talk about Algeria's support for the Palestinian cause, as well as the 1975 accord between Iraq and Iran, having settled the territorial dispute and the release of American hostages in 1981, as well as the peace accord and reconciliation in Mali, issued from Algiers' process in 2015, without forgetting its commitment to help the Libyan people to solve their crisis, alongside the undetermined support for the Sahrawi cause. The profound reforms initiated by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, since his election, allowed Algeria to consolidate a state of law, thanks to its strong institutions, while placing citizens at the center of decision-making so as to stimulate a genuine economic dynamism. Today, the Algerian diplomacy has made a huge comeback at the international scene that will enable it, a major force, to unify the Arab ranks in the upcoming Arab Summit, hosted by Algeria, scheduled for the 1st and 2nd of November 2022.
In another development, this month's edition of Al Jaish magazine evoked the beginning of the new academic year, marked by the willingness to build the new Algeria. It also recalled the different reforms initiated by the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense. More insights with Melissa Kebash.
In its editorial entitled Judicious Path, the Jaish Review evoked the beginning of the new academic year, which was marked by different activities within the framework of the building of a new Algeria that the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, promised to concretize it in real life. The editorial pointed as well the reforms well embraced by citizens, namely young people, who are slowly trusting back the state's institutions, as well as the diversification of the economy to create more wealth. The Jaish Review also mentioned the remarkable work made by the Algerian diplomacy in safeguarding security and stability in the African continent, which was largely welcomed by the international community, especially with the upcoming Arab Summit, hosted by Algeria on the 1st and 2nd of November. At the end, the review recalled that the judicious path impersonated by Algeria, the mobilization of the people, the high officials of the state alongside the national army, the contribution of all these elements will concretize the objectives fixed and will enable Algeria to overcome all obstacles and face all challenges thanks to its outstanding youth.
In another context, and pursuant to the instructions of the President of the Republic, an official delegation headed by the Minister of Religious Affairs and Endowments, Youssef Belmehdi, took part in the official celebrations of Al-Mawlid Al-Nabawi in Senegal at the invitation of the Caliph Tijani Al-Mahi Ibrahim Nayas. The Algerian delegation, which received a very special reception, performed the Friday prayer at the Central Mosque of Kolk City, which hosted the celebrations. In other news, and under the framework of the Arab Summit scheduled for next November in Algiers, the National Archives Center inaugurated on Saturday a series of exhibitions, documents and photos on Arab countries under the theme The Arab League, History and Journey. During a conference held on this occasion, the advisor of the President of the Republic in charge of National Archives and the National Memory, Abdelmajid Sheikhi, said that this event is part of the state's efforts to raise awareness among the Algerian people as well as the other Arab communities and countries on the importance of the upcoming Arab Summit. The Lebanese media outlets expressed their satisfaction with the facilitations granted by Algeria for the best media coverage of the upcoming Arab Summit. Report by Amal Bouaqba, commentary by Ines Killo.
The international media, including the Lebanese media outlets, are giving a great importance to the Arab Summit, which will be held in Algiers on November 1st and 2nd. Nearly 20 journalists and technicians representing Lebanese TV channels have obtained their accreditation to cover this important event.
This summit is of great importance, especially since Algeria is hosting it. Algeria is a country that has a good reputation and is known for its firm positions in support of just causes. Our role as journalists is to cover this summit, which brings together Arab countries to achieve the unification of ranks. As Lebanese journalists, we are fully mobilized to cover this summit, which is held on this emblematic day, which is the 1st of November, the date of the outbreak of the glorious Algerian Revolution. And as we all know, that Algeria is better placed to defend the interests of Arab people.
The journalists of the Lebanese public channel attach particular importance to this event, and they are working on the preparation of TV sets that will deal with all the details of this major event. The Lebanese television is mobilized to cover the summit, chaired by the Algerian head of state, Abdelmajid Tebboune. The Lebanese television is the only one authorized to broadcast to the private Lebanese TV channels the proceedings of the Arab Summit in partnership with the Algerian TV within the framework of the ASBU. The Lebanese media outlets confirm that all facilitation have been granted to them in order to provide a better coverage of the Arab Summit in Algiers in the hope of addressing the challenges facing the Arab nation at all levels.
For their part, the Jordanian people are optimistic concerning the decisions to be taken during the upcoming Arab Summit, notably for the closing of the ranks of the Arab ranks to face up the current challenges. Report by Salim Hamadi, commentary by Sabrin Tafarganit.
The Arab Summit that will take place next November in Algiers is of a great importance for Jordanian people, thinking that it is an opportunity to address Arab people's concerns and also reinforce their unity.
نتمنى إن شاء الله في القمة القادمة تكون في الجزائر يعني
We hope that amid the summit, the Palestinian cause will be addressed.
ومنها الشعب الفلسطيني فإحنا بنتمنى إن شاء الله
We hope that this summit would be the occasion to strengthen relations between Arab and Muslim countries.
بين الدول العربية.
Journalists mobilized for this big event confirmed the Algiers summit will undoubtedly be a historical event since it's taking place in a special and crucial circumstances.
الجمهورية الجزائرية هي بلد جامع.
Algeria is a unifying country of the Arab world, and it is clearly seen through its position with just causes.
تعيد اللحمة إلى الموقف العربي لتعزيز يعني النهج الديمقراطي.
تأتي القمة العربية في لحظة حربية حاسمة.
The summit takes place in a situation marked by conflicts that have touched certain countries. For example, the Palestinian cause and the problem of hunger in Yemen. We hope that it will strengthen cooperation between Arab countries for unified work. The Arab Summit attracted special attention from students, considered as a cornerstone of the nation's development. Various subjects will be tackled during the Arab Summit in Algiers, notably economy, politics and security issues. The world's population is mainly made of youth, waiting for the slightest opportunity to show their potential. Algeria is a unifying country and we're placing our hopes on this. We wish that it wouldn't be a division between Arab leaders, focusing instead on solving conflicts that the Arab world is undergoing, mainly the Palestinian cause. Jordanian people are expecting a lot from the upcoming Arab Summit, hoping that the decisions at the end of the summit will be concretized in reality.
Moving on to the international topical news and concerning the Sahrawi cause, the Arab Committee for Solidarity with the Sahrawi people reiterated that there is no other alternative for letting the Sahrawi people practice their right for self-determination. During a meeting of the committee's executive office held via video conference chaired by its president Mahmoud Saleh, the committee also stressed the importance of attracting more Arab intellectual and political figures to support this just cause. They also highlighted the importance of coordinating the legal teams of the Arab Committee for Solidarity with the Sahrawi people with the international organizations so as to hold a series of meetings to explain the right of the Sahrawi people for self-determination and put an end to the Moroccan oppressive occupation. And in the occupied territories, a Palestinian was murdered on Saturday by the fires of the Zionist occupation army. The murder occurred following the death of two Palestinians at Ramallah and Qalqiya. In reaction of these crimes, the Palestinian Foreign Affairs Minister accused the Zionist entity of trying to drag the region into a cycle of violence. And to wrap up our today's news with a truck bomb that caused a huge explosion on Saturday morning, severely damaging the only bridge connecting the Crimean Peninsula to the Russian mainland. Following the incident, Russia ordered the opening of an immediate investigation. The details with Sabrin Tafarganit.
Traffic resumed on Russia's bridge to Crimea a few hours after the blast that brought down section of the roadway blasted in a bridge. Around 6 a.m. local time, a bomb track caused a massive fire on the bridge linking Crimea to the rest of Russia. Several railway tanks were also hit by this blast. Kremlin spokesman indicated that Russia's President Vladimir Putin ordered the setup of a government commission just before the Russian Investigative Committee announced the opening of a criminal investigation. According to the company Grand Service Express, the railway's part of the bridge has also reopened, and 2 trains left the peninsula in the evening to reach Moscow and St. Petersburg.
And with this, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.